It's the Underpowered Hour. On this week's show, military Land Rover crashes, and then we're joined by Tom Pickford and his crew wrapping up their trip across the southern United States in the legendary Pollyanna. Now, here's the show. Welcome to the Underpowered Hour. I'm Steve Beres, mild-mannered television executive by day and Land Rover collector by night. You can find out more about our cars and what we're working on at theberescollection.com or follow us on Instagram at theberescollection. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Ike Goss.
Thank you to everyone joining us today. I'm the 55 horsepower engine to Steven's 523 horsepower engine. I'm the disappointing performance of podcasting, Ike Goss. I own and operate Pangolin 4x4 in Springfield, Oregon, where we live and breathe Land Rovers. Check us out online on Facebook, Instagram at Pangolin 4x4. Let's get started.
All right, Ike. Well, in the news this week, I don't know if you've seen some photos out of the UK, but a little bit of a mishap on the motorway involving a military defender, and yet didn't go great.
No, this one's really riling people up. I think there's a whole genre of like traffic mishaps and road rage, and certainly this video is really getting people wound up. This military Land Rover driven by a couple of soldiers is driving down the motorway, and a car pulls across in front of them
Ford
to
Escort
take
or
an
something
exit.
Pulls out and
And, that is when stuff gets wild. They swerve to miss the car. Very kind of them. They could have just plowed into the back of this car.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And they flip the Land Rover several times and come to a rest, and just a complete yard sale. There's just stuff all over the highway. It's pretty significant, and it's really interesting.
It is interesting. We have the ability now we can show stills from that. We can't, if we show the video, YouTube will take down our thing, but we can show stills, we think. If you're watching this, it's because YouTube didn't take it down. But we can actually do a live play-by-play here of these stills. So here's the car coming down the motorway, and you can see there's a small Ford something or other or whatever in front of it there, one of the two-door kind of little mini hatchback cars, and it swerves to avoid it. And as you can see, things already not looking great. The car is leaning extremely heavily to the right, but the trailer's leaning sort of in the other direction, and then two wheels on the ground on the Defender starts to roll, and then it's a complete disaster on its roof. I think it slides down the motorway for a little bit before it finally flips back onto its wheels, minus a door, and like you said, with everything literally everywhere.
Oh, there's jerry cans of diesel spilled on the ground. There's pieces of trailer and brackets, antennas, and windshield glass. And, it's just a total disaster. And a tire has come unseated from the rim, maybe two. I'm pretty impressed with how this thing held up, though.
Yep.
Those fiberglass hardtops, they must have a roll cage underneath them. Yep. But, the structure of the vehicle is pretty good. But there isn't much there between you and the road when it's flipping over like that. And the door has obviously come off and been rolled on.
Yeah.
And the whoever made this trailer hitch, I don't know whether it's Dixon Bate or who pretty impressive testament to how well that held up. I mean, that thing is still attached after rolling over.
Yeah, it is pretty the amount of force that went into that trailer. And that trailer kind of whipped the car around as much as the car whipped it around. It was, and the headlights are still on. That's pretty good,
They probably were off before. They probably not working, and
now they're working.
The wreck caused them to work.
Caused them to work. It actually fixed a number of problems, which is interesting. But so that's the news out of the UK. Hopefully, both soldiers make a full recovery. I know they were both injured, as you can imagine they would be, because the door fell off their car and they rolled over several times. But hopefully, they make a speedy recovery.
Yeah, pretty significant accident, but harrowing footage.
Yes, if that was an Oshkosh armored vehicle that the U.S. military drives, it would have simply flattened that Ford Fiesta. No stopping, just straight over it.
Just right over it.
Yeah, that would have been not great. But hopefully everybody makes a full recovery. Speaking of a full recovery, we have our very good friends, the intrepid travelers of Tom Pickford and company, trekking across the southern United States on their way to the SCAR event in Texas, deep in the heart of Texas. And they actually made it. They made it to the other end.
No way.
They did. I know. We didn't expect it. We thought, certainly someone would be imprisoned. But as it turns out, they're all there, happy and healthy, and joined by a couple of good friends, a couple surprise guests, and a ton of Texas Pete moonshine pickles, I imagine. And so we're going to catch up with them via Starlink, live from SCAR, and see how that voyage went.
All right, let's check it out.
All right. Well, I am joined again by our intrepid group of travelers taking what is an incredibly special Land Rover across the southern United States and wreaking havoc and spreading joy across the land. So congratulations, first of all, Team Pollyanna, for actually making it to Texas in one piece and with little involvement from the law or the State Department and hopefully the AAA as well. So well done and welcome to Texas. How was the journey? Sum up the second half for us here. Tom, how'd Pollyanna do?
Yeah, she went very well, thanks to Stephen. We covered 2,850 miles in total from JLR North America. I think the worst thing that we really had, which was we knew was going to happen, possibly on this journey, and it actually did, was the fan belt snapped.
Yeah.
Which is always interesting when you've got a capstan winch on the front of one of these cars. So it took us, instead of a standard car, which would take less than half an hour, was 3 hours by the Louisiana state border sign, which we luckily stopped to have a photograph at. So it's been a very good journey over. Easy driving in the States, so easy.
And what was the reaction as you're traveling down the highways and byways of the United States to this little British car poking along? Did people in their F950s or whatever just drive right over top of you, or what was the reaction from people?
Obviously, you have to be aware of what's coming up behind you because they could literally drive straight over you in F350. But yeah, like we've had people filming and clapping and hooting, not lots and lots, but there's been steady amount all the way down, really.
Excellent.
I'd say combined with a shocking oblivion from so many people. Or just
mostly new Range Rover owners, I imagine, is completely oblivious.
Literally everyone. People walking, you have a lot of
Rover.
time to process if you're walking and they're just not processing what's going by.
The cool, I can't remember where we were. There was this really cool pickup, and two guys, like they were coming. Well, it was Alabama. Yeah, we were coming. They were coming perpendicular to us, and then I just sort of like waved, sort of something like that from the right hand side of the car, and then they just they were going the same way as us, and they just pulled alongside, and we had literal conversation because obviously being a left-hand drive cut vehicle, I could be along his right, and I've been calling it spooning, and the video sort of spooning, and you can have a full-on conversation, which we did. So that was really cool because it was like a 1951 Chevy pickup, and Pollyanna's 1950. Cool. So he was a bit spun out by it. So
that's amazing. And before we get too much farther, of course, you have Laura and legendary Bill Cooper there with you, but also some incredibly special guests that have joined your crew here as well. Who else is back there? Of course, I know one very well.
In addition, it's been the icing on the cake for this whole journey. I mean, I've been so well looked after from the big moment I arrived, but as I say, the icing on the cake was my sister coming over from Vegas up there and being able to join us for 2 days on the road trip, last 2 days, and then this weekend here. So you can have a quick word with her.
Yeah, fantastic.
Steve. Hi, I'm Amy.
Hello, Amy. Well, how was this adventure from you, watching your brother travel across the country in this pokey old car? And what'd you think?
It's been amazing, really incredible. just, yeah, it's almost like come a bit full circle from my roots, which obviously Land Rover has been such a big, oh gosh, oh, almost full circle. Yes. Yeah. Come back to my roots and to experience this. And then with the full meaning of this legacy that Barbara Toy has left. And I'm over the last kind of more like 5-10 years, I've been far more interested in kind of female empowerment and the rest. So it kind of, everything's just linked back. It's amazing.
Well, it's fantastic. I mean, obviously the Pickford family, a legendary in the Land Rover community, to say the least, from your dad. And of course, now to Tom's wild rides. It's absolutely fantastic. Really wonderful. And then, of course, behind you, none other than Ashley Giardino, who is, of course, of Overland Magazine, very good friend of the show, and without question, a Barbara Toy aficionado, if not leading experts in the field of Barbara Toy. So, Ashley, welcome. Great to see you, and I imagine great for you to be there, with Pollyanna and with the gang to welcome them to Texas, if you will. Well, you got picked up along the way, am I right?
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. Yes, I got picked up in New Orleans, and so was super lucky to be able to follow along on the last leg of the journey and then end here at SCAR. Yeah, I never thought I would be here, so I'm just so thrilled. And to be able to travel with this crew has been so fun.
That's awesome. A lot of people feel like that about Texas. And then, they meet Texas Pete, and the next thing you know, you're 5 jars of moonshine pickles in, and everything's great. So I hope you all have an exceptional time there. So what was, actually, maybe starting with you, sort of what's something significant that you're sort of taking away from this adventure? I don't think we'll see something like this again, certainly in the near future. I'm not sure what Tom has in store for Pollyanna in the future, but I know it has to go back to the UK. So, what do you think? What kind of impact is this going to make on the Land Rovering, the overlanding community here in the United States?
Yeah, so I will say that this has been such a great learning experience for me because I don't have a copy of Columbus Was Right. And so I've learned so much about what a great way to learn about where the places that Barbara stopped along the way throughout the United States. But yeah, I think the greater sort of, impact, I guess, on the overland and Land Rover world is just this increased awareness of Barbara Toy's story and seeing a 1950s Series 1 Land Rover driving long distances. And that's just so inspiring.
Yeah, it is a little bit of a unicorn, especially out there on the, on the highways and things for people to see. And yeah, it's such a joyful car. The 80-inch is such a joyful little car and definitely brings a smile to everybody's face. So I think there's no excuse, with your Toyota TRD Pro or whatever that you don't want to take across state lines or whatever. Tom drove the shittiest old Land Rover in the world across all of southern United States and is just fine. So, it just goes to show you, get out there and do it. It's cars are more than happy to oblige, and if you have to take a Land Rover, there's not a much better one than taking Barbara Toy's 80-inch. So super cool, very, very cool. So Laura, how about you? You were sort of conscripted, if you will, into this Land Rover draft, and now you find yourself unplanned in Texas. So how was the journey for you? What is this going to be a new thing now? A long distance Land Rover driving?
I know Ken is fearful. I've already bought 3 trucks this year, and I never thought I'd say I'd be a series person. I'm seriously thinking about a series. No, it's been amazing.
I love it. Well, let us, between Ike and I, we have about 60 of them, so no problem. You just tell us a color and size, and we'll ship one out to you.
Just drop Liza and Jenna a note. Send me this one.
Exactly. Just let them know. Yeah, they'll take care of it for sure.
It's been, I think my daughter put it the best when she and Tom had a text exchange. Mm-hmm. It was a blessing I didn't know I needed. Those were her words, and it rang so true. Out of the mouths of babes, I guess. It was, started out, Bill and I were friends. I had met, Greg over the phone briefly during an interview. I had never met Tom.
Right.
And these are friends that are now my family.
Yeah.
It became so much more than just taking a 1950 series truck around the USA. It was, when we got here, I was pretty emotional. I was very emotional. It all, at first she was a truck, and now Pollyanna means so much more. I mean, I always admired her, loved, the history, the story. No, she's part of my heart now. She means a lot to me. It's pretty crazy what's changed over these days from me not starting and not going. Oh, I'm going in here.
And now I'm in Texas. No, Laura, I mean, I think that's exactly it. I think you put it perfectly. These kind of trips, you don't think about it setting out, but they do change you. And I think the people that you have these adventures with, you go on these trips with, that's, it's a bond of a random group of ruffians. But at the end, like you say, it is a family, and that's just absolutely fantastic. Bill, how about you, the adult in the room, supervising presence? How'd you go? How'd your team do? Do you feel like everybody kept in line? You got him there, so congratulations on that. Well done.
I'm just happy now that we're family, we can all fight at Thanksgiving. So
that's right, exactly. Yeah, and they're all going to come over and borrow a car from you inconveniently.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. For sure. But how was the trip for you? How is the new Discovery or the new Defender running? Hopefully it didn't have any mechanical problems, but.
No, I won't say that it was the only car that didn't have problems, but it was the only car that didn't have problems.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, it went well. I'm just waiting until we get to Texas. Have we gotten to Texas yet? Because I still have, 600 miles to go yet, because I got to bring Pollyanna back. So my trip is not done yet.
That's right. Yeah. And so that's the plan then. Pollyanna will go back to your place, and then from there get shipped back to
and then I'll
Tom
coordinate, get her back to JLR and for her trip home.
And they'll take her home. Fantastic.
Real home.
Wow. Yeah, to
bring them back the wrong car. I'm not sure.
This is a Pink Panther. This isn't Pollyanna at all. Yeah, exactly. You wouldn't have to worry about Land Rover knowing, that's for sure. But that's not true. There's a couple, depending on who's on duty there in New Jersey. There are some real Land Rover fans, and then there's some folks who drive some new Range Rovers. So depends on the day. But that's fantastic. And thanks for taking care of everybody. And let's recap if we can a little bit. So Greg, you guys went on. You sort of started your time there in Texas with something that's actually become a bit of a mainstay now at Land Rover events around the country, which is a Barbara Toy run.
Yeah, so we came here, kind of the end goal of this trip, I guess in a way, was coming to the Barbara Toy tribute run here, which we had this morning. Started out here and has worked its way to other events as well now. An all-women run, worked on empowering women in the spirit of Barbara Toy. So we did that this morning, and it was really cool to have Pollyanna leading that run today. I'm adding a new dimension to that. And we have had women driving Pollyanna as much as possible here. I think pretty much drove the whole run except the highly technical parts you did. Yeah, just because, we don't want to mess the car up.
I want to fix it.
Yeah, fix it on a hill climb is his fault,
That's right.
But it's been incredible to see just how much this story connects. We had a panel yesterday where we talked about the run, women who have been doing the Barbara Toy run at this event for 10 years. We're saying how much it meant to them. They went out and bought a vehicle because of what they learned driving their husband's car the first time on this. What they have done and taken out individually, taking part in this community, breaking out and becoming their own members of it was really, really moving. And then, to have the vehicle there that really connects all of this was great.
Wow, that is so, so cool.
So I think as well from the panel yesterday, I first found out about this 10 years ago, obviously, and then it takes like a little time for things to establish, which it clearly has done now, been going for 10 years. And as Greg says, it's gone sort of to other club events in the United States. But the logical thing moving forwards from this point is to look to do Barbara Toy events, maybe in the UK. You'd have heard of Lescom's Land Rover party in Barcelona. I'm like thinking that would be a really great place to have one maybe next year. And then with the 80th coming up in 2028, I always tend to go to Australia. I've been going there since 50, and it's a very natural place to sort of aim to have one there at Cooma in 2028, and where I'd like to maybe aim to take Pollyanna back to Australia, because in Columbus was right. She actually went through Cooma in 1957. So that's really cool as well. So that's what we're moving forwards with now from this little humble drive that we've had in the States.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic. And what a great way to share the vehicle with the world, right? With all these folks, like you said, are now discovering Barbara Toy and discovering vintage Land Rovers, through this adventure, and being exposed to, this absolutely remarkable, exceptionally preserved, still driving, still doing what it's always been doing vehicle. It's absolutely amazing, sort of unheard of, right? So no, I can't say great enough stuff, you know?
All you need is time and oil and water, you know, and petrol, obviously, or gas.
Yeah, that's right. Yes, gas. Yeah, you're going to go back to the UK and you'll be like, what do you mean? I'm going to put gas in that? That doesn't make any sense. Like cooking gas? What are you talking about? Yeah. No, it's good. And finally, petrol here is as expensive as it is in the UK. So it feels very familiar, to you. I'm sure. So
ours has actually gone up 25% as well. So.
Oh, darn it. Oh, no. Yeah, well, that's, At least it's a much smaller country, so you need to use it. It's still cheaper here.
I can give you a quick statistic on it because it costs 15p per mile in the States to drive Pollyanna. So back at home, it probably would be more like 30p. So it is actually still cheaper, but a lot greater distances to cover. So
that's right. Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit, seeing as the UK is the size of California. It's a little bigger over here, but that's all right.
But,
the
they're just great fun to. You just got to use your classic Land Rovers. Just get out and use them.
100%. They steer better. They don't leak as much, and they're generally happier if you actually drive them. That's the key. That's the key thing. But let's talk then quickly about the places that you visited between the last time we spoke and arriving in Texas. So you went through some pretty neat locations.
So we left, last time we talked to you, we were in Mobile, Alabama, which was one place that we know she visited. So in Mobile, we visited the remains of the ocean liner SS United States, which was built. The keel of that ship was laid down 6 weeks before Pollyanna. And it was really cool and contextual because Barbara used passenger cargo ocean liners a lot on her trips. We then drove across the Gulf Coast through Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana. As Tom said, we blew a fan belt at the Welcome to Louisiana sign. We spent 2 days in New Orleans with all the debauchery one would expect from such an experience.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic.
Everyone had their own.
I thought if anything,
problem.
that's good to know. All right.
For once. And then
I was going to say, you don't hear that very often, but that's great. I'm glad.
And then we headed west toward Texas through the Cajun country of Louisiana. One place that Barbara mentioned was the Evangeline Oak, which is kind of a touch point in the Acadian diaspora in this area.
Right, 100%.
When they all got kicked out of Eastern Canada, they headed down here, and this had a touch point. It was in a Longfellow poem, so we stopped there. And, it was a very frozen in time town. I think it was, say, Martinville, Louisiana. And it was really emotional for all of us because we had a sense that these were exactly the scenes in this downtown that Barbara saw.
Right.
He is unchanged since the 50s.
Of course, for sure. Yeah.
So we did that. And then it was really cool. I think one of my favorite days of the trip was that evening. Ashley and I were driving in Pollyanna through the kind of the upper parts of the Bayou country of Louisiana and the kind of the western parts of the state. Through these gorgeous farms. The light was perfect. Next day we drove through Orange, Texas, where she again mentioned in the book, and then down through Galveston and High Island and along the coast in to Boulevard Point, which she again mentioned, took the ferry to Galveston, and then pretty much broke from the route to head up here to Scar for 2 days, which it took 2 days to get from Houston to Dallas, an 80-inch.
You don't get the benefit of the big motorways,
No.
That's fantastic.
We actually came through Somerville, Texas, where Destination Defender was a couple years ago.
Right, of course, yes,
Billboards are still up.
If you want a fun little Land Rover relic, 3 years later, the billboards are still there.
I'm sure that giant wet tent is still there, too. It's still drying out from that event. So I've never been so wet in my entire life. But, that's fantastic. It's a beautiful part of the country, obviously ranch country and, things like that. And Ashley, if I can, I just sort of, as Greg was mentioning, you guys driving Pollyanna for that last little bit, you being so steeped in all things Barbara Toy, what is driving Pollyanna through your own, your home country here? What does it mean to you? What did you do? How did that make you feel? I mean,
So we're all laughing because this isn't my home country.
Oh, right. Of course it isn't your home country. Yeah, that's right.
Well, Canadian, but it doesn't
know
matter.
You're Canadian.
It's still special.
I know. Well, I'm also Canadian, and I knew that. And
he plays next door.
Yeah,
it's still
that's
special,
right.
of course.
Your own continent, anyways. Yeah.
So Greg and I were talking about this time-space continuum where there were moments on this trip where we felt we were in some other time, or we felt like, I don't know, she was watching, or we were where she was. You could feel like these weird moments. And that was one of them that he mentioned. So I think we all, if I speak for everybody, I don't know, felt those moments throughout the trip in different areas. So that was crazy, like connecting to some other time and place or connecting to another person in that moment was really special and profound, and I will never forget it. So
that's awesome. What an incredible opportunity.
When you're driving through some...
Yeah.
I was going to say, when you're driving through some of these places where she did describe them specifically, like running along the coast with the oil wells pumping on one side and the water on the other. And those areas have not changed since the 50s. So as we're driving along the Gulf, you've got the oil wells pumping in the water. It really kind of puts you in touch with the book and everything. So
Once Tom didn't see.
Don't pick on Tom.
So
and the roadkill alligator, but that's okay. That's another story.
You'll have that from now, and and a couple of capybara in there probably as well. As I think I read they were starting to make their way along the coast now from the Panhandle of Florida. But it's fantastic, and again, what an amazing opportunity and what an amazing adventure that you've all been on. And so I guess what's the output from this going to look like? We have obviously some very talented writers and personalities and things in the group. So what can we look forward to so far as recapping these trips for folks who didn't have an opportunity to see the car along the way?
So definitely going to be a couple magazine articles that you'll probably find in your mailbox pretty soon. We're going to probably do some things on our website, barbertoy.com, once we have time to process everything, which we probably need a couple of weeks to do that. A little bit of a recap there at some point. And we're definitely moving forward. I'm thinking of taking Pollyanna on road trips more. I think that this proved the case that you can. I mean, it's a very tight truck. Tom takes incredible care of it.
Yeah.
So if you missed it here, you may be able to see it again on another continent in the same way soon.
That's very cool. And I hope everybody gets an opportunity to, to spend some time with that car, even if not driving it around, but, just to sort of be in its presence is pretty cool. These old cars, be they new or renewed rather, or really unrenewed as many are, they're a time machine. They're the kind of closest to time travel that we can really get. And I think this speaks to that. What an incredible way to really travel back in time to a completely different country at that time and a totally different way of thinking. And what an amazing, it's just heartwarming to see that you guys got through this and that the car performed flawlessly, and that's all just wonderful. And I think you're right. I think wherever, we all end up, Barbara is probably looking down and quite pleased with this little adventure, I imagine. So, well, it has been, as it always is, amazing chatting with all of you. I look forward to catching up in the near future again on future projects. I know we have much time that we have set aside for Ashley in the future, as there's 1,000 projects going on there. Bill has a million things going on. And, now we'll have to get Laura in the loop, as she's going to be a world Land Rover traveler, recreating these trips. She's got the bug, and we'll definitely, I don't think this will be the last time we see you traveling across a continent in a Land Rover. Hopefully not. And Tom, it's always a pleasure. Nice to see you wherever we can, be at a field in the middle of rural England or a pub somewhere. Always great to catch up.
If you ever want to talk anything else that, in the UK, then drop me a line.
We'll be over at some point in the near future for sure, and we'll spend some time.
Welcome.
We're looking forward to it. Well, you all have a wonderful time at SCAR. Enjoy the festivities. Enjoy the moonshine pickles. Sorry we couldn't be there with you in person. And no one is more sorry about that than probably Bob Steele. But we'll get together again. I'm very sure, hopefully, everybody will be over for the 80th if there's going to be a big Anarch thing again, that would be fantastic to see everybody back at Greek Peak and what have you. So until then, good luck out there, everyone. And enjoy, like I said, enjoy SCAR. And again, what an amazing adventure. And look forward to catching up with all of you again soon. So for now, stay safe and good luck. All right. Well, fantastic to see everybody there. Laura and, of course, Greg and Ashley Giardino, a special appearance by Overland Expo Zone or Overland Journal Zone, Ashley. And it was a great conversation. Really, really interesting. Great to see Bill Cooper, took care of everybody. Nobody died. Tom's looking just fine. He's in fine trim, and his sister managed to come down and visit as well. So had the Pickford clan there. So yeah, it's looking really good. And they apparently had a great time.
Very cool.
And only a fan belt was really the only major issue. So, could be worse. And they only spent $90,000 in gasoline.
So
it's a bargain.
Yeah, it is a bargain. Speaking of $90,000 in gasoline, it's one of our favorite segments when we take a look at the old Bring a Trailer and find for you some real gems. This one, I have to say, this is probably one of the, I don't even know how to describe it, but one of the, let's say, the girthiest examples of a Defender that I've seen in a very, very, very long time. As you know, ever since the Tomb Raider films and some of the James Bond films, it has become exceedingly popular to wrap a piece of rope, not just around your bumper, but like up your hood and around your windshield frame and all kinds of things. And this car does it in really fine fashion. It is a 1994 Land Rover Defender 90, a 300 TDI that has been refurbished, if you will, into what is, I think, going to get the prize for the ropiest Defender of all time. So again, we're going to share it here. We now have the technology to share photos on the internet.
Oh my gosh! Look how ropey that thing is.
It is not only is the rope plentiful, but it is a girthy rope. That rope is bigger than my thigh. Like, it's insane.
It's pretty substantial. That puts the rope from gym class to shame.
It does.
That is a significant piece of cordage that we're talking about here.
Yeah.
And it's like a loop, right?
It is, yeah.
How long would you think that thing is in total?
I would say...
Is that 20 feet?
Yeah, maybe 20 feet at most. And it does. It makes a complete loop, and it seems to be zip-tied to the roll cage around the window, front window, and then, again, underneath the winch on the front to create just a big elephant trunk kind of loop around there.
But there's no way you could possibly use that for anything, right?
No, I mean, there's no kinds of tow hooks on it. There's nothing. I mean, the rope is, I think, just electricians taped together at the end so that it doesn't fray. And then, like I said, mini zip ties are holding it on. So much as I can tell from the photos here on Bring a Trailer, we'll post this link. You can search.
This looks like a decoration from a crab restaurant.
It does, doesn't it? I feel like there should be little seahorses and sea stars and things in it. It also, speaking of, it has the net. It's got the cargo net in the back, so very nautical themed. You know,
it does. You could just put some starfish on there,
a couple of lobsters in there,
sand dollars and stuff.
Oh, for sure, absolutely.
Just start selling some lobster rolls out of the back.
Oh my God, that sounds delicious.
Now this thing has kind of all the, for lack of a better term, stupid features
it does.
A car that is maybe of lesser quality, but trying to aspire to a higher standard. It's just got a lot of accessories. It's got diamond plate everywhere.
Anywhere you can fit in diamond plate, there is diamond plate. The sills are covered. The top wings are covered. The hood is covered. All around the back door. It has a Land Rover sticker wrapped around the front brush bar, which is always a nice feature. It's got the Heritage 90 and the Sawtooth wheels sticker on the side. The Sawtooth wheels, Heritage 90 sticker, diamond plate down the sides. The diamond plate is also all blacked out, which is here's a good close up on that rope. Just look at that, just so abrasive. Look at are there little bits of rope that are stuck in the air intake there? I think they may be falling down inside of the air intake.
For the heater intake?
Yeah, the heater intake, yeah. Maybe.
It smells like the coast when you're driving.
It's nice. Yeah, you get a ropey smell when you're driving, which everyone always likes. Again, the classic cargo net.
Bull bars, and it's got a tailgate that's like new and never been painted to match the rest of the vehicle.
That's right. It's got primer on it.
It's got a tow hitch, like a metric tow hitch, which is not usable in the United States.
That's right, and also the plug that isn't usable here, which is also both great. And it's got the lots of close-up features on the cargo nets, which is nice. That is the style of the modern Bring a Trailer. You know, you got to have 900,000 photos.
Well, it shows you all the places where the paint is peeling.
That's exactly right. It may be that perhaps all of these...
I like this picture with the reflector on the badge.
I see it, yeah. The reflector's over the badge, obscuring the lot number, which is sort of interesting.
Oh, and the Punisher skull over the area where the rear door hinge would be.
Oh, yeah, you're right. But the rust is still there from where it was previously.
Yeah, because it used to have a door on it, right? It used to be a hard top.
Of course it would have had a door on it, yeah. Oh, it's an interesting reflector thing on there. That I'm not sure why that's happened, but that's interesting.
Well, that's over the little thing that says dildo or whatever.
I think it is, yeah. But then later and here's an American flag badge on the side where you can see the red paint coming through pretty nicely. I'm not sure what that's covering, but I'm sure it's something. And
probably an antenna hole.
and probably something like some kind of a hole. Yeah. And they've got another Exmoor scooped thing, some nice.
All the LED lights.
Yes, of course. You have to have the LED headlights. A Britpart winch, which I have to say, you don't see those very often.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, I don't know who OEMs winched to. Now here we are without the cover on the plate.
Number Didio.
Didio, D-I-D-I or D-L-D-L-O. I'm not sure. Well, I don't know. You look at the girthiness of that rope, and maybe it does. But the vehicle is
got an alarm.
Some kind of alarm on there. Again, the sawtooth.
Right-hand drive.
Sawtooth wheels. It is a right-hand drive car.
It's got the seats from the Batmobile.
I know, that's your favorite.
Holy stokes.
Look at those things. They are.
It's got the steering wheel from the Batmobile.
It does. They are quilty and black and nobular. And they got everything you want. But they're
set up for 5-point harnesses. Yes. And despite the fact that it only has 3-point harnesses,
right,
so it kind of interferes.
Yeah, the strap isn't run through the seat like it's supposed to be. And so, yeah, that's fine. And some wiring coming out from behind the dash.
Coming out there, probably for the auxiliary lights or something.
I imagine so. And if you look actually on this, up the A-pillar here, just some extra lights wire that is actually coming out where, I feel like you could have run it through the hole where the handle is, but instead right over top.
Right over the top of the handle. So if you grab the handle, you're grabbing a handful of wires.
That's exactly right. And you've got just a coil of extra wire. In case you need extra wire, it's right here coiled up in the dash for you. And
nice.
They've got the all aluminum surrounds on all of the dials and the
detachable face radio. You don't see those.
No, that's true.
Anymore.
Well, you wouldn't want something like that getting stolen, so you got that, and it appears the vehicle has 150,000 kilometers on it, probably, or 150,000 miles on it.
Miles.
Yeah. So,
I'm sure that's exactly accurate.
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good car. Oh, it's got the chrome shift knobs, and then, it's got speakers that are behind the seat there.
Cut into the middle bulkhead so that when you're in the load space, you can see the back of the speaker.
That's correct. And the red paint that was previously on that load space. Under the hood, you've got a nicely acquainted 300 TDI that's been dynamatted. You can. It's really showing off the original red paint there.
I like how the air cleaner's been dynamatted.
Yes, yeah, it's kind of interesting. Eh? Yeah,
why is that? You think?
I don't know. Maybe you just a little bit. You never know. It's a little bit noisy.
Gotta put it everywhere.
Yeah.
This is a pop riveter's dream, this car.
It really is. And you've got what look like some new suspension in there, possibly.
Some oil leaks.
Definitely. We've got some rusty bits on the exhaust and things. Everything else is.
It doesn't look as rusty as I thought it would.
No, honestly, it doesn't look too bad. I think a lot of that is because they've wax oiled the entire bottom of the car. And that, there you have some scrapey offy wax oil bits. And if you are in the market for a very ropey bumpered Land Rover, it does come with lots of little spare parts. It comes with some
bundle of
wire, and it comes with a heritage certificate. Unfortunately, on the heritage certificate, it is missing the ropey bumper. The heritage certificate only has just a normal looking car.
What would you call this if it were a special edition?
Geez, I don't know. It's a gray. I don't know. What about you? What do you think?
I'm going with a Womb Raider.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Yep. Well, on that note, it's up on Bring a Trailer right now. So if it's your car, I'm sorry. And if anybody is interested in purchasing it, go ahead and pop on over there, grab it. It's very much still there, and
it's well priced.
It is a deal. I will tell you that right now. We're recording this on Sunday, so this ends in a day and a half, Tuesday, and the current bid is $12,000. So if you got it for $12,000, I would say the rope alone is worth a few $100. So
easily.
So, and it's got
start your own tugboat business.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, if you have to leave it on the shore for any amount of time, you can easily rope it up.
Well, thanks for the overview on that amazing classified ad.
It really is a great car, and hopefully someone picks it up out there. If you are the lucky winner of the bidding on that car, let us know. I'd love to touch your rope. Just check it out. Just enjoy it. So, yeah. Enjoy that. Well, on that note, that's it for this week, and we'll see you next week.
All right. See you on the trail.
The Underpowered Hour is produced by Liza Beres, Ike Goss, and me, Steve Beres. Pavel Svardov composed and performed our theme music. Consider supporting the show on Patreon, and if you already do, thank you. Your support makes the show possible. For even more, check out our Instagram or Facebook.